dinner with us.
Dude, I'm going to go rock out.
Well, all right, we're cutting you off. We're cutting you off with that Red Bull immediately. That Red Bull's gone. But no, gentlemen, thank you for being here. This is so.
Thanks for having us, brother.
Like, this is like the culmination of being able to do this. Is like not like a dream fulfilled, but like you work hard to do something, and then you finally get it, and it's like that's what makes it taste so sweet. And so, speaking of sweet, someone just got a belt.
Yeah, buddy.
I saw Zach try and put it on you, and then you went like this. You started to dance a little bit.
I don't know what that was.
Dude,
I had all these celebrations in my mind. Like I was like, I'm gonna do a 6-shooter, and I'm gonna say, "What's up, Mom?" And then for whatever reason, I just started humping.
Bro, we've been cracking up about that celebration like all week, bro. Like
He still didn't get it on you.
He had to hand it to me.
held it to him.
He's like, whatever, dude. Dance. I don't care. But, I mean, like, well, let me paint this in a picture that they can understand. I know both of you because of MMA, and you both are technicians in your own regard, but very different. And I have two separate stories because I didn't know how to strike, and I didn't know how to wrestle. You taught me how to strike, and you taught me how to wrestle, whether you knew it or not. And I remember being in rounds, and I think it was like a Tuesday class, and I went with Luna, and he hit me perfectly, like in the liver, so like hard, not like on purpose, but like hit the body.
Yeah, it was on purpose.
I went through DC. He's a killer, but like I've never felt that before in my life. You know,
feeling like a real good body shot the first time.
They don't
like
people don't know. Like you walk outside, they're like, I could fucking throw down, and then if you hit them right in the liver.
Well, yeah, it's like if you like watching like a boxing match or a movie. You know, you see them get hit to the body. It's like it didn't look that hard, you know.
Yeah,
but then when you get hit, it's like you literally can't breathe. You know, it's like
it feels like someone pulls your lungs out of that spot that they just hit you at. Like it just like drags out of you.
Yeah, it literally just takes your breath away. Like you ever been winded? Like,
oh yeah. Holy shit. So I felt like getting winded. So like I was an 8th grader or 9th grader. I weighed 110 pounds, like 120. I was 5'9" and 120. So I was a beanpole. So I had to get tackled by grown men basically, right? With like mustache, facial hair, BO. Okay. I had the wind knocked out of me. It does not feel like that. So when I felt that, it was kind of like, you can take it in a negative way, like, oh, he hurt me. Luna hurt me really good.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that fucking guy. Most people do because they're insecure. Just going to throw that out there. Most grown-ass men are really insecure. And I remember being like, oh, it's a new level. Like, I've just achieved a new level, like in a video game. I'm like, I can take a body shot from Luna. It hurt like fuck, but I can take a body shot from Luna.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of MMA is like, you kind of surprise yourself a lot of times. You know, it's like sometimes like, well, like I didn't like grow up wrestling, right? Like Mason came from wrestling in high school and college. Like I wish I would have wrestled in college and high school, but like I didn't grow up really doing any martial art.
No, you don't, bro.
Yeah, I do though.
Overrated.
Don't do
so
it.
like I wish, like I found a lot of stuff out about myself, in those first few MMA practices where it's like got beat up real hard that day, you know what I mean? And like I had a real rough day. Maybe I got a bloody nose and a black eye.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, like, do I really want to do this? You know what I mean? I'd go home and it's like, man, I got real beat up today. Maybe my head hurts a little bit. And it's like, you kind of find some stuff out about yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, do I want it? Like, who am I as a person? You know what I mean? Like, am I going to give up or am I going to keep coming back?
It makes you think about things a lot deeper than just like, because like you said, people see like movies or they see like, walking to the octagon, they watch UFC on TV, not even fucking close. Like it's a difference when it comes to the consistency of going to practice. And like you said, you start to question your morality, like who you are as a person. You're like, can I take this? Is this meant for me? And you brought a good point. What's your background? Like, how'd you get into MMA?
I started getting into MMA. I think I was just a fan, like I was just like a fan of the UFC. Like I started getting into the UFC when I was like 16, 17. And then like I started liking boxing too. But then like honestly, like my favorite fighter for like a while and kind of still is, but like doesn't really fight anymore. Like Conor McGregor was my favorite fighter. Dude.
Right.
Like
that's
why I became a striker. Like when I first started MMA,
You go, fuck these
I
wrestler
was
guys.
a jiu-jitsu guy, dude. Like I was doing jiu-jitsu like almost every day. Like I would go to every single BJJ practice, right? Like I was going in the gi, and I loved jiu-jitsu. Like when I first started out, and I still love jiu-jitsu, but like, and then like I just became such a fan of like watching cool knockouts and like watching Conor like do his thing. You know, he like do like super clean. Like it's just so cool watching somebody.
Oh,
like,
tilt to the right,
but-
draw
but,
too.
yeah.
Boom, catch you clean.
And I was like, that's what I like watching. So I want to get better at that and do like I want my highlights to be that. So
Right.
that's what I like started putting a lot of time in, was like working my striking, and then also like I came up with like my gym was like my head coach was like Jason High, and my main training partner like who was my size was Jeff Molina. So like
Right.
it's hard not to pick up things from like who you're around, right? And
Oh yeah, yeah. He was another guy who startled me because I remember looking at him. I go, he was like, I was starstruck because I walked into Glory. I go, that's the guy. That's the guy from TV. Like that's the guy who kills other people. You know what I mean?
It was funny like seeing him come to like Glory OP like the first couple times after his UFC fight, because like people were like asking him for pictures in the locker room, and I'm like, that's hilarious. You know what I mean? Like
It's a new level. Like
It's
that's
cool.
something that. Well, I'm not sorry, Jeff, if this puts you on the spot, but I watched him get out of that Tesla, and I go, all right, there's a new level.
dude,
You know what I mean?
that's a
Even if
UFC
you're
bonus
leasing
right
it,
there, you know?
but because I didn't know, because I've seen you strike a lot, and you're very proficient at striking, and so that body shot was the one that told me like I have a new like limit. Like I have more than I think I can capably give in the gym, right? Because it's all kind of up here in your head. Am I willing? Can you talk to your brain and go, no, that's not. Yeah, I can keep going, even though you're fucking like dying.
Yeah.
And my elbow's glued to where that was, and I'm breathing through it. You know what I mean?
I feel like I get so upset with myself when I get like hit with the body shot, and I start to feel like, I'm hurt. And it's not like I get mad at the other person. I'm mad at myself for getting hit.
Right.
And I'm like,
Fuck you,
and I
you
get so
idiot.
mad. I'm like, I gotta just keep going. Like I'm gonna take you down. Like,
Well, and then so I had him with the striking, and then I remember you just threw it like a rag doll. Like you were having fun. You were like, oh wow, you're so light. Like I could just see you like picking me up and throwing me around. And I'm like, I got mad at myself. Like you said, I go, what? How the fuck, man? And I looked at you and you go, just relax. Like, you were like, relax, man. Like you were like, you didn't understand, but it's hard to convey that like I'm sick of getting thrown around. I don't know what to do. And you go, we're just gonna flow. And then you started just doing one like wrestling technique, and you go, now you try. And then I did it, and we did it for like 5 minutes, and then it just kind of came natural. And then it came like a thing I do once a week with you. And then it was kind of like, you know, some of it was high level grappling that I didn't really pick up, like Greco-Roman type wrestling.
Yeah.
But just doing it was enough to like keep me on my toes. So if Gomi went for something or someone else went to go for a takedown, I'm like, it wasn't the first time. They wouldn't get it the first time. It'd be like, oh, they have to really work at it, you know? So you taught me how to wrestle, and then I just remember because it wasn't, you were like, calm down, man. And then you started to giggle. Like, you had the laugh, man. Fuck that window.
Yeah, I know, bro. I gotta put the shades on, bro.
Put the shades on for a little bit. It'll go down. That building's right there. We should have started with that.
Yeah.
Solid, bro.
But
I
I
got
mean,
my poncho. I got my glasses.
you
Got
look
the belt.
fly, bro.
I'm ready
Both
to
you
cast,
guys.
bro.
Oh, I forgot. I said I was gonna wear a suit jacket
Oh yeah.
Suit jacket.
Hey, bro. Next time.
the next time. But I wanted to talk to you about your belt, because Ollie said you have another one too at 170.
Yeah, so I'll fight on February 4th against a bogus opponent. He sucks.
That's right. He
Fuck
sucks.
Cody.
Johanny.
I don't know.
Johapadoxin.
Yeah, something like
yeah.
that.
I've heard of him. I have not.
No, he's actually pretty good. He's number 2, I think, in the state. I think he's like 6th or 4th in the region. So like he's supposed to be a good opponent. And I think he's taller than me. So it'd be the first time I'm fighting somebody that's taller than me.
And
Yeah.
he beat the last guy, Mason beat too. So
Yeah,
the
for
guy
the-
Mason just beat for the title. That dude also beat.
Oh, so it's kind of a
Got a little
Yeah.
mutual.
He beat him faster too.
Yeah.
But he was kind of getting his ass beat.
yeah, right, just a little.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, how'd you feel? Is this your first belt?
yeah.
The first one? So that's what came out. The
First
little
of many,
show,
eh?
This thing came out.
Honestly, I was so excited because the whole all right, in every single one of my fights, I've been in an arm triangle. And I squeeze, and I'm like, it was just like slight details were wrong or something, and I wouldn't be able to finish it. And like some fights, I'd have the arm triangle like 3 or 4 times. I'd be in mount, and I'd have an arm triangle, and I wouldn't finish the fight. And I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like,
right, you're looking at the cage. Trey.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does he just go, keep squeezing?
Yeah. And normally he's like, nah, dude, you don't have it. Like,
he just so blunt. He goes, give it up. He's like, it's not even close.
Yeah. But then when I remember talking about it before the fight, I was like, man, I just really want an arm triangle finish. Like, if I can get the arm triangle finish, I'll be so proud of myself. It's like, I finally got the details. And I've been working with Spangler and like Wishman, and obviously Trey's a jiu-jitsu coach, but like details like every day, just going over it. And I got it, and I was just ecstatic. I was like, I fucking did it. I got the arm triangle.
Dude, after the fight, like we were literally on the car ride home. Cause I went out there to Springfield with Mason. On the car ride home, like he was literally like, dude, like Spangler, like Austin Spangler was like telling me like a couple details about this literally like a week ago. I gotta call him. And like on the car ride home, like from the fights, like we were going to dinner with his family, right? And he was like, dude, I gotta call Austin Spangler. It was like 11:30 at night. He called Austin Spangler. Spangler was like, hello. He's like half asleep, and he was like,
hello.
Yeah. You were like, I fucking did it, man.
Yeah, bro. He was like, bro, I gotta tell you, bro. Like, what you told me about the arm triangle, that shit worked, bro. I just did it.
He's like, I'm asleep.
Yeah. He's like, all right, cool.
He's like, sick, man. I'll see you Monday at practice.
Well, and it's just, I don't know what to call this episode, but I'll probably call it like Warrior something, because I've seen both of you like
call it I'm a warrior.
I'm a warrior.
I'm a
You heard
warrior.
yourself. I'm a warrior by Mason.
I likes you and I want you.
Oh. Well, it's just like
we've been watching a lot of Boondocks lately. It's a Boondocks quote.
Oh, I'm gonna get so much. I've never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
You should go home.
Boondock Saints.
No, Boondocks.
The Boondocks.
Oh.
It's like an adult cartoon.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like
I thought you were gonna say adult film.
No.
All right.
It's like Family Guy.
It's like Family Guy.
Yeah. Kinda.
With that
Well,
cartoon type.
It'd be on Adult Swim for sure, not Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
It is an adult show. No,
Yeah,
just kidding. Well, and it's just that whenever I would go in the gym, it was always like there's a certain thing you have to do where it's like wipe it clean. Like today's a new day. Like yesterday might have fucking sucked. I might have got flipped around by, Mason and thrown around on Wednesday. But now it's time to do pad work. So it's kind of like if you just I kept going in even though I knew that I kind of sucked. And then eventually you don't suck.
Yeah.
And then it's just like there's this level of progression. And a lot of the guys that come through here that I see come through Glory MMA or, even if I go to any other Glory like Gladstone or I haven't been to the hub in Lee Summit, but there's always shit that pops up. Like there's always going to be shit that comes in the way.
Yeah.
And like I'm not saying no one gives a shit because we can talk to Gomi or talk to Trey and they're there, but they're also like, the shit's going to happen, but you have to like keep going if you want the true like reward. And that's that like connection between all of us. It's addicting. I have to come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's really like a family, like you share these mats with people who are strangers, but then like by the end of a 45 to an hour class, like you've shed blood, sweat, and tears with these people, like over the course of
I didn't know your name, but now I know who you are.
Right,
so, like in your core,
you just get so close. Like there's like no ego there. I mean, there is and there isn't. Like there's a healthy ego because it's like these people, like you're beating them and they're beating you, but you're helping each other like get better.
Mm-hmm.
And like no one's really trying to hurt you. You know what I mean? Like it shouldn't be that way anyway. Like nobody should be.
For sure.
Everyone's trying to get better. And by the end of the day, like, these people become your family. You know what I mean? Like, Mason and Gomi are like my brothers now. I live with them, too.
Yeah, I was like, you guys are family. Yeah, you guys live in the same house.
Like, you know what I mean? Like same with, like, someone like Lucas. You know what I mean? Like right. These guys, like, we share so much time together and so much, like we see how hard each other work. You know what I mean? So it's hard to not respect each other. It's like, I see how much hard work you're putting in. When I'm here, you're here. When you're here, I'm here. Like, you know how much work I'm putting in.
When I'm not there, you're texting me why I'm not there. It's like, it's really hard to find that outside of that place. Like you can't find it at work. You can't find it like at any other like shitty extracurricular activities. It's like the only place I found it was like there. And those lessons and developing that with you guys, like, help to build everything you're sitting in right now. Like, so
Which is fucking sick, bro. Like, we should say it on the podcast.
This is fucking
this
sick.
place is awesome, bro.
Except for, I guess, I forgot blinds. Sorry, Mason. I got fucking Ray-Bans if you want them. They're bigger fucking sunglasses.
I feel like I'm just like, I can't even really see anything. It's just got the sun, and I'm just kind of like, I'm just listening.
We're basking in your glow of victory is what we're doing.
Just sit forward a little bit, and you'll have the shade in front of you.
Hey, did you
Lean
bounce
to
to
the
me?
yeah,
Oh,
there you
hey, look, I just go like
Yeah,
this.
be the cool
You
guy.
Slight,
Just cool guy lean.
slight
Yeah,
shade.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Mm.
Can you hear me still? Is this
Yeah,
good?
you got
It's
it, bro.
cool.
Just
Chill.
get a little-
I was like, he's gonna be the guy. He's got the headphones.
Get a little closer.
These are for show.
I mean, honestly, that's good right there.
Can I move this chair forward?
There you go.
There you go.
All right, I'm locked in.
That was a lot.
Roger that. But I mean, I don't know. I really just can't thank like all the people that are there, like Trey and then you guys, because also you guys don't like you don't make me feel stupid. Like I'd go in there and go, how do you do that? You could be like, fuck you. You could be like, no, I'm not gonna tell you how to do that. That's my trick. And you're like, no, set it up, boom, boom. You're all there for the same fucking goal.
Yeah.
And it looks like that shiny belt over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You should grab that thing so we can put it on the camera. I'll grab it.
Oh,
Yeah, go
yeah.
get
We
it,
should
bro.
wear it. Everyone grab a belt. Everyone grab a belt. Break time. Headphones. Cut that.
All right, I'm like Mel Santa this bitch.
Hey, I can't put it on the back. Is this reminiscent?
No, I know it's
There you go, bro.
Yeah, trying to get it on.
Dude, quit moving.
Damn, it's actually like sturdy.
Yeah, bro. I feel like you
I'm
can
glad at least this camera's picking it up.
you can put it down.
Yeah, just me dancing. I got sunglasses. Well, I know what this one's for him.
How did
Yeah,
you
boy.
end up in Glory? Like where?
Like, how did I end up
Yeah,
training
did
there?
somebody invite you there, or did you just see it and you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna do some MMA? It's because you wanted the belt. Yeah.
Well, so I walked in to Gladstone. It was the first one I went to. And
Oh, damn.
do
you live by North?
no,
Yeah, you just
I
went to
Googled MMA gyms, and that's the first one that popped up. And I go, fuck it. Like, I want to go. I was probably 22, 23. I'm 26.
Oh, so it was before OP was open then.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, son.
Yeah, so, bro, I did not know how to block. I didn't know how to do a kick. So what happened is that's where I met Sam.
Oh,
so
okay, yeah,
so
yeah.
Sam was
Yeah.
the first guy. I'm like, why? What do I need? I need tips. I'm not doing this right. And he's like, no. And he told me a tip. He's like, just look like right here on my chest. And I was like, that's it. And then, sure enough, if I just don't look, because most people look right in the eyes.
Yeah.
And then they just get hit in the face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, just watch the body movement. Okay, cool.
Well, his head can't hit you.
And then I just was solid, and he'd still get me. And I go, what the fuck? He goes, well, you're just not good enough yet. No, just kidding. Sam's like the nicest dude. So he's the first one I met. And then I went there because it's kind of not to bring the episode down now that I'm wearing this fancy ass belt, but like I had gone through a lot by being like a single parent and like having to deal with like my kid's mother and then like my own finances and not really having like a direct career path, so to speak. So like we're all kind of in this troubled background. And then I went there because I was talking to Steve and I'm like, it's like I didn't want to like kill myself, but I also wanted to feel pain from somebody else, right? Like, so the external wasn't.
Damn, son.
Fuck.
I'm glad that was like an all right spill.
Okay, good.
That could have been a lot worse for a camera.
That is true.
Yeah, you're like, watch out for the camera, Mason. Don't hit
Damn,
the camera,
son.
Mason.
Yeah, you're still good, hot shot. But like it was the external forces outside that I can't control.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, fuck, man. Like I just want to like achieve and go towards something instead of being like bogged down by it. So I went there and I was like, I want this. Like I wanted the validation of like my hard work towards something. So I walked into Gladstone and I go, hey, Zach. And I was like, I want those, man. And then he laughed at my face. Like straight up laughed at me. And I was like, no, I'll work fucking hard. I'll do it. I promise. And he's like, okay. And he told me straight up, like a couple weeks later, I go, hey, Zach. And he goes, yeah. And I was like, Chase, nice to meet you. He goes, I'm not going to learn your name.
What?
Damn, son.
Not like that, like kind of in like a straightforward kind of like, if you're here for 3 months, I'll know your name. And so like, because so many people come in and out.
Yeah, they
and I
come in.
watched them.
When can I fight? Day
Exactly.
one.
I had, and my favorite is we're doing this session of like abs, like just all like we're sweating, like it's so hot in there. And these 3 like kind of out of shape dudes show up and they go, hey man, you like train UFC? And then whoever the front desk dude is, I can't remember his name, he goes, Zach, we got some. Like that was like the cue. If they say that word, he's like, okay. He goes, hop on into the class, you guys. We had just done like 15 minutes of like some warm-up stuff, and we're already coated in sweat. It's an hour-and-a-half class. And these chunky little like black dye-haired guys who were like thinking they were tough, it was like 30 minutes of like cardio, push-ups, abs. He would like step on the abs as you walk by, as you're doing like butterflies. And these tubby guys are just like, they don't want to be there. And he's like, time to spar. And then people just, like, not hard, but they show them what it's like. Yeah. Just a little bit. Even if you just play tag, they still don't know what to do. And they never came back.
You get humbled a little bit, you know?
It hurts almost like, even when you're not hurting someone, like when you're panicking and like, even if you're not really getting touched that hard, like your body freaks the fuck out. You're just like,
it does.
Well, it's because most people aren't like accustomed to getting hit. Like getting hit in the face, we're so used to it. Like getting hit in the face is like such a like a jar, you know? Like if you like, if you jab somebody like a normal person in the face, you're like, you know, like they're so like jarred by it. But like,
well, because most people think it's like the movie. They're like, oh, I'm not gonna feel it like when I watch TV. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it pretty good. But I think it's just over time, you learn to step out of that boundary, and you're like, this is gonna be uncomfortable. And so, what I didn't know then is that I was trying to find something that I could like lock onto and then progress forward. And then it was like I wanted the belt, or I wanted some medal to prove that I'm like someone that I wasn't. And instead I'm like, fuck it, just deal with the insecurity you have and then like be who you are. And then you can only do that in an environment that cultivates brotherhood like GLORY MMA. And so like I went there with a negative mindset and then left with something even better, which was the ability to put myself in uncomfortable positions and through the adversity do better than I ever thought I could.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to put it. Like, I feel like MMA training and just like jiu-jitsu and like wrestling and boxing or striking of some sort, like, I feel like even if you're not trying to fight, it helps you like in a way, like just in life in general, you know, like with confidence, like self-confidence, like the way you might go about stuff, you know what I mean? Like finding out, like, you know, like maybe you had like a rough jiu-jitsu day and someone put you in like a real tough armbar or like a choke or something, right? And you didn't give up. Like you hit that point where you're like, I can tap right now and it'd be all right.
It's zoning in.
But you didn't. But you didn't. And you held on and maybe you got out, right? And maybe you didn't get out, but you still held on a little bit longer than you thought you could. And you grew that day. You grew however much you grew that much. Like you grew, like mentally you grew, like because you know you pushed
like
your limit.
This much.
Yeah. And it's that little bit that you grow every day. Like it comes on, you know, like we were going running a lot when it was a little warmer out.
Oh, fuck
and
that.
like running with Mason and Gomi, like if I was on that run by myself, I'd probably stop all the time. Like that run sucks. But because I'm with Mason and Gomi, I'm like, they're not stopping, I can't stop. And then like, you know, like I'm also like, I don't want to be the last one either. So like I'm like dying, you know, but I'm like, I can't stop, you know what I mean? So like in my mind, like by myself, I know I would have stopped for sure. But because like I'm not by myself, like I push myself harder than even I think I'm going.
Capable
and then
of.
I learned that, oh, like that's just my body wanting to give up. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's my mind wanting to give up. My body can keep going though. Like, you know what I mean? Like your mind's weak, your body will endure. And like as soon as you realize like you can push past to what you think you can, it's like, oh yeah, like I can, like I got this much more in me that I even thought I had, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think it was like a Navy SEAL. He's like, your brain will tell yourself like when you hit 30%. So like when you feel like you can't go anymore, your body's limit that's only 30%.
It's like Goggins, I think.
Yeah. 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 I think he was talking about Navy SEALs training. So they try and push you past that so you can be like, oh, like I can't go beyond this limit that my brain has set already automatically by evolution and nature. And it's just like you don't get that way by being comfy. I mean, the way that the studio came about, I can talk about it now because I haven't heard from them. But, like, I signed this with 2 other guys. And so it was just going to be me doing this. And then, you know, there's obviously production quality if you like it, right? I mean, that looks really good. It feels, got a good weight to it, too. I like this. Can I rent this? Just like rent it? I'll just pay you. Like, I'll walk around like
dude, honestly, I feel like the belts are cool and all. And to me, say, oh, I'm the Synergy champion. Like, it's cool, but I feel like that shit's poison. Like, when I look at that, I'm like, I need to get rid of it. Like, I need to not
He
see
was
that
talking
thing.
about it. He was like,
poison?
He was just like, I feel like we should burn it. I was like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, because I see that thing and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm sweet. Or, like, it gives me that ego boost. And it's like, it's good to be confident, but it's like, you shouldn't be basking in your previous like successes, right? Like that belt basically means nothing to me now. It's not going to help me against Cody. It's not going to help me on Monday against Trey or Scroggin or any of those guys, you know?
That's true.
So that's why I'm like, when I see that, like I kind of like, for a second, I'm like, oh yeah, I fucking earned that. But I'm like, I don't know. It makes me
that's
feel
healthy.
like, at the same time, I'm like, oh, but I need to get back to work.
Right.
It's like I need to not think about that too much.
It's hard trying to find the perfect balance of like enjoying the fruits of your labor and also like not falling into like stagnating where you're like, oh, I'm fucking good, but then you're like, I need to get better though. You know what I mean? Like enjoying yourself and also like getting back to hard work. Like finding the middle ground between those is like, it's kind of the sweet spot. You know, it's like trying to find the perfect like.
I feel like we don't fight though we're not fighting for these trophies. Like for me, I feel like I'm fighting because it's a form of like self-therapy. Like every day I go to the gym and I work out and then maybe I get my ass beat or maybe I do some ass beating, you know, but either way, it's like, you know, I work out and then I feel good and like maybe I did a little bit better than I did the day before. It's just, I don't know. I think it's like a little bit of self-therapy, but that's why I'm fighting. That's the fruit of my labor is like, all right, now I'm happy, you know, because I've got something that I'm working on and is constantly making myself better. Like that makes me feel good. So that's why I fight. I don't fight because I want the belt, you know, like fuck the belt. It doesn't mean anything.
Well, you don't fight like for the UFC belt?
I mean, all right. So here, well, see, yeah, but I feel like I'd have the same mentality. Like as soon as I had it, I'd be like, all right, well, get this thing the fuck away from me because I need to not be sitting here thinking about how, oh, I just won the.
Well, I guess it comes to like, what do you actually fight for? Like you just said it, like happiness, but like, what are you fighting for? Like in the end, like what do you like financial? Or are you fighting like you dream? Like you're fighting for something, right? Everybody has their own reason. Like I feel like I'm fighting because like for many reasons. Like obviously, like I want to be a champion, and I feel like I can be the best in the world at my weight class, and I've always feel like whatever I put my mind to, like we talk about it all the time. Like I always felt like growing up, or even now, like whatever I put my mind to, I could do it. You know what I mean? Like I could be a rocket scientist in 4 years if I started studying, you know, physics and that. Like if I could put my mind to something, so I feel like I could be world champion. But also like I want to do it. Like I fight because I want to leave like a legacy of mine. Like I don't want to be just like a normal, everyday whoever else person. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to work a 9 to 5, come home and enjoy like, you know, like a middle class life. Like we were talking about that the other day too. Like there's people out there with, you know, $1 million cars where it's like there's people like, you know, a lot of people we know could save their whole life and not buy $1 million car. You know what I mean? And these people who have to spare for a car, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to be living like a normal life. I want to do it for legacy. I don't want to like die. I don't want to live and die. Like I want to leave something of myself to be remembered by, you know what I mean? I don't want to just be forgotten when I die and like my kids die and that's it. Like nobody ever talks about me again. Like I want to leave something that's like remain. Like I want to leave. Yeah, I want to leave something that remains. Like I want my name in history books. You know what I mean? I want something to like leave and like set in stone.
Why do you? I don't know. I'm always kind of curious. Why the legacy?
I just don't want to be forgotten. Like I think that's my main thing is like I don't want to be forgotten about. Like I don't want to be just which is fine if you do. Like it's fine if you want to be another person. It's fine if you live your life happy. But I don't want to be that. You know, I don't want to be just another forgotten about person.
Comfortable.
I want to be honestly. I just want to be like a great. I want to be written about. You know, I want to be an Alexander the Great. I want to be whoever. You know what I mean? I want to be these people like who you know about time and time after. Like you know, like they're gone for thousands of years, hundreds of years, and we're still talking about him. You know what I mean? We're still like
That's
they
true.
left something so big that they're getting talked about today. You know?
Well, and it's like that's a Conor McGregor thing too. Conor McGregor has the thing where he's like, you know what's unhealthy? He goes, working that 9 to 5. He goes, this is healthy to me. Do I look unhealthy? He's like, this physique. And he's like, I think those people are fucked up. I'm not fucked up. He goes, I'm enjoying every day of my life. They're fucked up. Like, you know what I mean?
Sounds
And
like
it's
arguments I was having with my grandma. My grandma was like, Jason, this is not healthy. You're not eating right. You're only eating protein. I'm like, Grandma, come on.
You were like,
I'm
Grandma, I'm
yoked.
like so in shape though. Yeah.
But no, like, what do you fight? Like,
Yeah, what do you
Why
fight?
do I fight?
yeah.
Because like we
Yeah.
got a gist of it, but it's like just that could go forever, and it's a healthy thing, by the way,
All right.
to
so
not let this soak in.
I feel like. All right. There was a point in time in my life when I had gotten in trouble with the law, and I was sitting in a jail cell.
You should tell the story. I think that's a good story.
I don't
tell.
really know that I'm that proud of that story. So I'm just gonna glaze
I'll be
over
the
it.
judge. I'll be
At the
judge
end of it, though,
Yeah.
I'm sitting in a jail cell, and I'm on a ridiculous amount of LSD, like an absurd amount. Like, we'll just leave it at that. And they're like, my lawyer comes in to talk to me. I had like tried to like steal a car, and I fought some cops. Average Saturday night activities
You said-
for
you
Ohioans.
He said, I'm not proud of it. Let's just glance over. All right, well, here's what happened.
What happened?
Well, I was like, now that I'm into it, I'm like, fuck, well, you need to know the details. But they're like trying to hit me with like 20 or like 30 years in jail was like their first thing. Like, we're charging you with this, 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 and this. And I'm sitting there like just fucked up. And I'm just like, oh my God. It's like, this is all my life is now. Like, I'm just in jail forever. And then I got out.
You're like, and this fucking dragon looking
Yeah.
at me is gonna put me in jail. Just a dude just breathing fire in the jail.
Yeah, I
cell.
thought I was dead, bro. Like, honestly, when I got arrested too, like they had like maced me and tased me, and they're beating my ass. Like I fought first.
Yeah.
Like you can't throw a cop and then not have any repercussions for that.
Greco-Roman wrestled cops.
It was not. I mean, I'm
You
not
like
proud of
lap
it.
throw a cop.
That's not really. I don't know. I don't remember too well, but they had like beat my ass. I remember like I was tripping and they're fucking me up. I thought they were vampires. I was like, they're gonna kill me. I was like, fine, just kill me. Like I gave up. I was like, I'm dead, bro. You gotta just kill me, man. Like I don't
This is
even
all
care.
I got.
Like I thought they were gonna eat me. So like I thought I was dead. And then I was in the jail cell, and I told me like, oh, you're about to go to jail for so long. And I was like, damn, bro, my life's over. And then like obviously I'm here now, so I was able to. I did a whole bunch of like community service. I was on probation for fucking forever. I ended up not going. I had some time served, and then
You had vampire counseling.
yeah, I had to do some drug and alcohol counseling. But then like after that, I was like, I wasn't really doing anything with my life, and I was like, wow, like I really just got handed like a second chance. Like I'm out here. I could literally do anything I wanted, and also like. When I wrestled in high school, like I was supposed to be good. Like I was supposed to probably win states or at least do something.
Was that the background? Did you always wrestle?
Yeah, I always
Since you
wrestled.
were small.
I just like I don't know why, but like in the 7th grade, my buddies, we were all in the neighborhood like, yeah, let's wrestle. Fuck it, let's wrestle. Because there's too many spots or too many kids with us hanging out to be on the basketball team, and
Yeah.
we all sucked. So
You're like, we actually don't know how to shoot a basketball.
yeah, so we have to wrestle. But
So
I had
all white
failed.
kids from Ohio too. Like,
Yeah. I had like
That's right.
failed in
Basketball
wrestling,
NBA dreams.
And because I never got my state title, I never secured like the natty, going to college and winning or even All-Americaning. So I looked at that as like failures, and I was like, well, I've got this second chance. Like, there's no reason I shouldn't like just take advantage of it. Like, fuck it. What's your wildest dream?
Mm-hmm.
Beat John Jones. Like fight John Jones for the heavyweight title and win. Like, fuck it. Like, let's chase it. And why not? So that's what I'm doing now. Is I walked into Glory, honestly, like I had Googled MMA gyms around me, and it was like the day that I Googled it was the day that they were having their opening day. So
Shit.
I walk into like a 7 a.m. gi class. I look around. I'm like, this is where I'm training. Like, fuck it.
Trey, our coach, was telling the story the other day, and he was like, Mason walked in on a 7 a.m. class. He was like, no new person's coming into a 7 a.m. class. He was like, Mason walked in, and like the first day we opened, he just looked around and bought a gi like right away, like bought like a $150 gi, like without even like questioning it. He was like, he didn't even know what jiu-jitsu was. He was just like, yeah, I'll take one, and just like signed up right there.
Well, I mean, it's like the same mentality. Like you're like, I have a second chance. Like,
Yeah.
So I felt the same way because, like, at one point, like I said, I wasn't going to, do anything. But it was like I was so low that it was like, I'm done with, like, being here. And then once I found the gym, it was like, now I want to be here just to be around these guys, And then on top of that, it's like all this is free time. And like you said, what's the dream, right? I'm already living it right now with you guys here. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us, brother.
But like I get to come in here to a place I own, when it looks awesome. I get to, I'm not gonna crash on the couch, but I get to watch TV, play video games.
Dude, I'd crash on that couch if I owned this place, bro. And I paid for rent. I'd be fucking
just go like this,
spending half my time in here.
Yeah, dude, you could just shower at the gym. Honestly, fuck your house, move in, bro.
Just like my landlord comes in, he's like this. What is this? I go, I dozed off. He goes, every night this week. I go, yeah.
I'm actually recording some ASMR in here.
Yeah. Just be quiet.
It's sleep ASMR.
Yeah. That camera is recording you to say hi. But it's like I get to come in here and have these stories that go out.
That's crazy, man. Chase has a casting couch.
I did before anybody else did. Next week on
it comes in waves.
Oh. It's on Adult Swim, actually. We got a contract. It's just like I feel like I'm living the dream already. Like I know I'm not like living anything else, and I'm not special. That's the thing about everyone in this room and at Glory. No one's special. Like hard work makes you special. Like because I'm wearing this and you earned it, right? But you got 2 back there behind you.
Yeah, I had that sentiment too. Like, I feel like when I was younger, I used to think I was special. Like, when I was younger, I was like, I'm fucking like better than most people. Like, I feel like I don't know. I just feel like I had such an ego when I was younger. Like, and I just felt like I feel like every 12-year-old kid has it. Every 12-year-old boy at least. Like, I just felt like I was better than everybody. I knew what the world was about at 12 years old. Like, nobody could tell me shit. And then it's like nobody's special. You know what I mean? Like. Even if you are special, like a harder worker will always outpace you or work you. You know what I mean? Like it's a Floyd Mayweather quote. Like nobody's special. Like the hardest worker is always gonna outwork you because you know what I mean. There's people who might not be the most naturally gifted, naturally talented, not the most naturally athletic, but they work fucking hard. They're at the gym day in and day out, every day, twice a day, 3 times a day. You know what I mean? Putting in work, and they're gonna beat the guy who's there once a day, who's like super athletically gifted, who's there like trains once a day and like who's in the he's good because he's athletic and but the harder work is going to beat him like 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean? And
then when you merge both together,
yeah, and if you get a hard worker who's also like a freak athlete, then you got a world champion. That's where you get
got a Mason Pillow.
Yeah, I was gonna say you got GLORY MMA. Well, and that's also something that like is healthy because the people who are the athletic ones, they look at these and they go, yeah, that's because I'm so good. It's that ego shit. And then if you're like, no, I know, like you have techniques that you've learned from jiu-jitsu or from striking, but you walk in there every day going like, I don't know shit today. I know the training I did yesterday and all before that. I know the techniques, but today I don't know shit. I'm not better than that person. I don't know this person. Like I came in with a blank slate and it just leveled up the game every time I went in there.
Yeah, like the most coachable person is always going to learn the most. You know, like just like in everything. You're gonna learn. Like if you go into it and you don't have like a preconceived mindset of like, oh, like I already know more than this guy. Like I'm not gonna listen to this guy. You know what I mean? Like even when people tell me striking advice, like whenever somebody who's like anybody gives me striking advice, like I hear them out. You know what I mean? Because maybe what they're saying has some merit to what I'm doing, and even if like. In my mind, I think I'm a better striker or whatever. Like, they might have some good points. You know what I mean? Maybe they're saying something that I'm doing that I'm not. And, like, I think you should always hear somebody out on advice. Maybe not take the advice always, but, always hear it with an open ear. Like,
yeah, like, and that's just part of being, humbly slammed on your head by Mason Pillow or hit to the body by Luna. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you're not going to get that unless you put yourself in that spot. And, I mean, I had no idea about you, by the way. I had no idea about your story about being in jail. Because you're from...
Dude, my stories go crazy, bro.
Yeah, I need something.
When I was like a fucking infant, my dipshit parents rolled their Jeep off the side of the Colorado mountains with me in the backseat. Like...
What?
Yeah, dude. I've like almost died so many times. Like...
I need to hear some of these.
Satan or the God is looking out for me. One of the two,
You don't know which one.
Yes.
I'll find out when I get to the top, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, like, what are you talking about? Like, are they alive?
Oh, my parents. Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm like, are
we
they
all
still
lived. We all lived, but
Okay,
like,
I'm like, are they alive?
you're like trying to drive through like an ice storm in the mountains. Like, come on, man. Let's be a little smarter than that.
Yeah, that's what you said as a baby in the back seat. As they
I
rolled
was
the
like,
Jeep.
what are we doing here? Then we're rolling, you know.
You're
No,
like,
I don't
my
remember
arms
that
are
at all.
upside down. This is neat.
Yeah.
We were honestly like for the whole week, bro. We would talk about like what stories can we tell on the podcast and what should we not tell. You know,
Yeah,
like,
what do you guys want to say to the people who watch this show? I want to hear some of these stories, because not to make it sound rude, Mason, but you're an animal.
for sure, bro. Mason's the fucking
You're an
Mason's the
animal.
menace of the household, bro. Like for sure. Like I feel like it's easier to be like. I feel like it's like Mason's like for sure the most outgoing person. I feel like in the gym, honestly, but like.
Oh yeah.
It makes it so much easier to like his I'm like such a chill person. Mason's such a like a loud person that's like it's right in between. Like the mix is like perfect where it's like
It's a perfect
if
mix.
we got girls over, they got the best of both worlds.
Oh,
You throw
Mason's
drunk
like,
Gomi in the mix.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got a party.
he's if you guys two blended together, because like on the mats, Gomi would throw me around, but then outside the mat, like as soon as he steps off, he goes, "Hey Chase, what's going on?" Like just quiet, chill guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, who are you?
Shout
I
out
don't-
Gomi.
Dude, yeah, Gomi's so fucking good. I don't understand how he's so good. It's like when I spar with him sometimes, it's like I'll be like, I'm like, all right, jab, jab. I'm about to hit him with another one. And it's like he'd like teleport or some shit.
Yeah,
Gomi's
you're
one
like,
of
am
those
I on my
guys
back
with
right now?
Superpowers or some shit. What'd you say?
You're like, am I on my back? How did I
Yeah,
even get
like
here?
what the fuck happened? I was just throwing an overhand.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, which one of y'all kicked me? Right? Yeah, Gomi's one of those guys that we talk about. Gomi's super athletic. He's like naturally athletically gifted, and
Yeah.
he's such a hard worker. You know what I mean? Like Gomi's gonna be a champion one day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for sure. Like Gomi's one of those dudes that just hard fucking worker, and he's
Well,
really
it's the
good.
same. You guys both are too. Don't get that wrong. Don't get that twisted.
Yeah, for sure. We're
Because
all-
like I'm
Yeah,
like,
but there's
bro,
a level to it, bro. Gomi's like in the gym, like fucking 25 hours a day with Trey, just fucking.
He's the
beating it.
manager.
yeah,
Just
and he
manager.
works
the
the
shit
shit
out
out
of each other,
Like he
like-
gets that extra like extra little bits of knowledge from Trey. You know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
like being around Trey all the time too. Like I feel like you'd get some rub off like knowledge.
Yeah, I remember telling Sam, I was like, they're just like not Trey's built different, like, and he told me about like the fractures. Has he told you guys about the fractures in his bones?
Who?
So like when you know what, like if I'm holding pads and you're kicking it,
Yeah,
good-
like
it's-
microfractures. Yeah.
yeah, he's like, dude, there's like spider webs because it had been like microfractured, and I'm like, dude, that's like Wolverine. Like I've got a Wolverine Funko, like that's Trey in a box, like, because I remember he just like touched my like knee and like my shin, like just aim right here, and I go, fuck it, and I like collapsed a little. He goes, you good? I go, yeah. What the fuck was that? He's like, I just touched you. He's just like dense bones, man.
He's like a piece of steel.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like I was rolling with him this morning. He fucked me up. And I was like, he was like, he put himself on the wall, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna let Mason try to take me down.
Yeah, he's like, I
And
need
I
to
like,
rest a
grabbed
little.
his leg, and it felt like I was grabbing a steel pipe or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
You were like, why is this so dense? I don't know why.
And then you watch him roll. It's like you would think he'd be flexing all the time. He's just completely relaxed. Like,
All day long, yeah.
yeah.
It's the silent killers.
And he completely changed the way that I do any kind of like workout, diet, any of that stuff. Like I remember going to him, I'm like, I'm kind of heavy, like it's saggy down here, and he's like, track your like stuff for 2 weeks and then get back to me, and I did. He goes, oh, what the fuck? He's like, take that out, take this out, replace this with that, do this. There you go. And the funny thing is, I don't know how they all cultivate in spaces, but people don't do that. People don't take the time to do 2 weeks of tracking their food. And I'm like, that's like
I did
this
it.
much effort.
He told me to track my food. I tracked it for like 3 days, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna only eat meat.
That's right. Okay, well, Mason's in this group, I guess. But like,
fuck
but
it.
I mean, it's not in a negative way, but people don't even put in that little effort. Like, so if I come up to Trey and I go, hey, I want to fight, right? And then he's like, great. The first thing he says is, I need to track your food, your diet,
Yeah.
and then we'll monitor that shit, right? If you don't do that, well, better be fucking good then. Like, and then prove that I don't have to waste time with you, kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
that's the thing with Trey is like that's why he's such a great coach. And honestly, we're so lucky to have Trey as a coach. Like
Mhm.
because like he will go that extra step for his amateurs, you know, for his amateur fighters. But it's like
right.
he will get on you, and as long as he knows that you got your stuff handled, like he won't bother you about it, right? Like he doesn't come to me about diet or making weight because he knows I've made weight already a bunch of times, and he knows I can do it. But like if I needed, like he's always like, hey man, like you need some, like on like fight week or before then, he's always like, hey, like how's your weight coming along? Like he's checking up every single time of the way, like as like, and he's doing that with so many people too. You know what I mean? Like how big our fight team is now.
Oh my
it's
gosh,
ridiculous,
insane. I mean, just the like, it's great that I have to manage a lot of people. Like, hey, coming through, but like, imagine that with Trey and then checking in on every single person. Like, when you have a coach that does that, of course you're gonna have extreme talent come through, and then that talent's like, well, I guess, did you come from somewhere else?
Yeah, so I started at American Top Team Kansas City. So that like I like walked into a gym when I was like 18. I did the same thing. Like I just looked up MMA gyms around my area, like on Apple Maps, right? Like just searched up like MMA boxing gyms. And I lived in Olathe at the time. And like the one that was literally like 10 minutes, like less than 10 minutes was American Top Team KC, which was like Jason High, LC Davis. That's where Jeff Molina started out, Stephen Graham. Like all these people came from over there. And so like I lucked out too, right? Like I searched up MMA gyms, and I could have ended up at any one of these garage gyms, and I ended up at a world-class gym that was, just started growing out. And obviously we, ATT ended up merging with Glory. Like all of us just came over to Glory.
Right.
So that's how I ended up at Glory. But like, yeah, I looked out too. Like, you know what I mean? I could have.
You could have literally been in the garage.
Jason High as a head coach was like, oh, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Like I looked out too.
Yeah, it could be like someone just like, I got this heavy bag and I got a mat on the floor. You're like, is this a gym? Is this your house? Like,
I wouldn't have known, bro. I would have been like, if it was the
the
closest gym to me that when I had Googled, I would have been like at fucking Warriors Academy,
Well, is it? I mean, there's a weird.
I wasn't gonna name anybody. Yeah.
Oh,
Did you name a gym? Did you
fuck them?
Well, it's like there's a play of fate a little bit in this, like destiny. It's because Gomi was driving down the street, and saw that there's a Glory gym, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like they searched Glory MMA. It's like it showed up when they needed it to show up in their life.
Yeah.
Right. And the same or the people that you founded American Top Team that merged with them.
So many people that was like right at that same time. It's like you had like Scroggin, Heston, me, like fucking Luna, Gomi, like all like within the first
Lucas, like all these people.
Bro,
you know what I mean? Like
Spangler, it's fucking Austin Spangler.
Right. He's the guy. I want to talk to him because he's the guy who also taught me that you're not a bitch if you tap. You're a bitch if you keep letting someone do it until you like hurt yourself. Because I remember he did something and it went to a knee bar, and I'm like, oh, this is a weird position. And then it was going this direction. And I go, I wonder how long I can. Right here, this is how long I can go. And I remember like I had to wear like this like sleeve, and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing this, man.
Up.
Yeah, and it wasn't. He was just doing his job. I'm the one who's, I'm not gonna fucking tap. I want to do this shit. And then I'm like, I don't want to feel that.
Yeah.
But there's the same thing that comes with Trey, because he opened in COVID. So he opened at a time that people probably were like, that's a fucking dumb idea. You should not open a gym. There's COVID around. No one's going to come in. Guess who shows up? His whole team.
Yeah.
At the same period of time.
Before the 1 year mark, we had to expand the gym, because there was literally too many people there.
Great now that it's expanded.
Yeah.
We were running into each other like, oh, excuse me.
Which is like the best problem to have, And also we have like all of our guys are like, we are filling up like all of the rankings, like the top 10 rankings in the Midwest. You know what I mean? Like literally all of us, like welterweight is like seven Glory MMA guys are the top 10 welterweights in the Midwest. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like Gomi's number 1 at bantamweight. I was number 1 at flyweight. Like all of us, you know what I mean? Like we're all like topping the rankings too. Like we're not just like, that's how we know we're doing good. It's like our whole team is.
It's literally Glory versus the world.
Yeah.
Like, I was saying this to him too. This is like going to be the new hub. Like, when you like hear people talk about UFC and like, oh, down in Florida, or like, oh, over here in California, there's American Top Team and all this stuff. It's like they're going to say it about the Midwest. It's going to be this Glory like hub where, you already have people in there. Like you have, obviously we talked about Molina. I remember I met.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I think we got like Glory in general's got like over 20 active something like that, active
20?
UFC fighters. Yeah, it was a lot. There's been a couple retirements lately, but like we were like at 20 like.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Ago. Yeah, I met Jason Witt. He retired.
Yeah.
Right. Julian Marquez. I saw
Julian,
him.
yeah.
He was one of the first ones I got to meet, and I'm like, these UFC guys teach us?
Dude, shout out to Julian Marquez. Dude, I don't think, honestly, a lot of people, when I dislocated my left patella almost exactly a year ago, a little bit over a year ago. And he was actually, that was for Trey's last fight before the UFC, before he got signed to the UFC. So Trey was out of town, and Julian had been like guest coaching like the MMA or whatever. And that practice is when I dislocated my left knee. And Julian was the one, actually. Julian like literally like rode with me in the ambulance to the hospital. He was like stayed at the hospital. Like he was there with me the whole time when they like relocated my knee. He was like talking me through it. He was like, "Hey man, you need anything? Like just hit me up. Here's my number." Like, and he gave me a ride back home to like, because obviously I couldn't drive my car, so I left my car at Glory.
Yeah, your legs just straight.
He gave me a ride back home all the way back to Olathe, like to my mom's when I was there. Like, dude, Julian was like such a bro at the time, and like and it's also like Julian, like I didn't know him super well, and it was like, here's this UFC fighter like who's coaching our class, and then like he really he like came with me to the hospital and like made sure I was all right. Like,
fucking monster too.
Yeah, I went to Lee Summit. It's like it was like one of the first times I went to Lee Summit was like right before I fought Zach Flowers. Like I think it was like last like December or something around that time, and I rolled with him one time on like Monday, and that was the first time I had seen him. And then after
Julian Marquez,
and then after my fight, I'm walking down I'm in like Kansas City. I'm walking with my brothers, nobody around us. We just see this fucking Hulk coming down the sidewalk, and it's like dark out. It's the shadows. I'm like, oh fuck, this guy's pretty big. I hope he doesn't try something.
You're like,
and then
oh,
it's Julian.
It was Julian.
Yeah, it was Julian. And I was like, oh, what's up, man? I was like, dude, I just fought. He was like, what? You fought? They had fights tonight? Like,
you were like, what? What are you emerging from the shadows for? What did you just fight crime?
He's like, hey, you want to go to this party with me?
You were like, sure.
He like gave me an invite, and then like I texted him, and then he didn't hit me back. I was like, all right, it's cool.
Well, and it's just like, I remember watching his head kick knockout of Philip Haas. And that's why
such a cool knockout.
Oh my gosh, it's like it'll live there forever. Like, I mean, Philip Haas is fighting too, but like, that's the first time I saw him, and I remember seeing the glorious beard, and I came in, I go, oh shit, I go, they teach us here. Like, these are UFC guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, I tried not to be the guy who's like, can I get a picture?
To me, that doesn't feel that wild, honestly, because of where I came from in wrestling. Like, my high school back in Ohio, like, our coaches were so good. Shout out to Westerville North High School. And
I keep forgetting
Ohio.
you're from Ohio.
Dude, my coaching staff, I had David Grant and Chris Grant. They were both like multi-time state champs from our high school, and then they both wrestled at like D1.
Damn.
And then we had like Jason Johnstone. He was he wrestled at Ohio State, and he was like I think he was an All-American. I don't remember exactly. He's a big angry guy.
That's the stereotype for wrestlers, big angry guy.
They made us so good. And then we would always have we'd have Logan and Hunter Stieber come through and teach us like the armbar series, and like we just had so many people always coming through the gym like to teach us techniques. And I was like, it felt like at least once a week we had like a guest coach that was just like,
would that play into your jiu-jitsu, or did you have habits you had to break from wrestling into jiu-jitsu?
That 7 a.m. class I walked into,
yeah.
I felt like I was doing pretty good to the drilling. I was like, all right, this isn't too bad,
Oh.
I was a little bit out of shape, and I could tell. I was like, because I was smoking cigarettes. I was just doing my own thing, I was partying basically. And I walked in, and it's like my first round, I did really good, and I like took this guy down, I held him down, and I didn't get submitted, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna just do this.
Yeah,
I can lock my hands. Fuck it, like
yeah.
And then I tried to Trey. I think I had Trey like the second or third round, and I remember I tried to shoot like a high crotch and a double leg and a single leg, and like I tried like 5 different shots inside of the first minute, and every single time I shot, he just snatched my neck and just choked me the fuck out.
Yeah,
like,
you were like, oh, I should probably not put my head there, huh?
I was like, I don't understand what's happening. I was like, how am I supposed to shoot without getting choked? And then I found out like it's just because Trey's sweet.
Yeah, it's because that's Trey Ogden.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's being nice to me.
Yeah, he's like, he wasn't even trying.
And
there's definitely some habits. I think wrestling helps my jiu-jitsu. the only habit really that I had to break was like being comfortable on my back, you know, like, cause like in wrestling, if you're on your back, you're probably getting pinned or you're about to get pinned and then you lose the match.
Right.
In jiu-jitsu, it's like totally cool to be there. Like, I mean, you probably don't want to be there. I think, you know, just me personally, I fucking hate trying to fight off my back.
Yeah.
But if I go there, I can like throw up a submission or maybe try to get a submission or just use that to escape or go back to my feet or just my reversals. But it's like, it just opens up the game. And also it like, I feel like it's with wrestling, it's kind of slow because you're trying to get someone on their back. And in jiu-jitsu, the transitions happen so much faster because
really, I feel like it's the opposite.
Really?
At least for me, like I feel like wrestling is like the fast transitions and jiu-jitsu is like the slower burn.
maybe in the takedown
Yeah, what is I guess
under
like,
the takedowns, but I feel like once it goes to the mat, a lot of unless you've got someone like a Jesse Delgado type that's just flying, like diving under to his opponent's legs, or he's just constantly rolling and scrambling, you know, like I feel like for the most part, like a wrestling match, once it hits the ground, it's pretty boring.
Is it? I feel like they don't hit the ground that often. Like I feel like they hit the ground and then like they reset or whatever, you know, something. I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of wrestling matches in my day.
This avenue of wrestling. I just remember seeing like the highlights of people getting thrown around, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, see, that's my favorite part about wrestling is the takedowns, and like, but I don't really like trying to pin someone or hold them down, and I feel like that's like kind of like stereotypical of an Ohio wrestler. Like when you think about a wrestler from Ohio, it's like they're just gonna take you down and let you up so they can take you down again. And like maybe someone from like Pennsylvania, they're maybe gonna be a little bit more like, they might even give up a takedown just to get down to the mat, and they'll just fucking scramble with you down there.
And there's something that, I mean, I know that you're wrestling is your background. I kind of like the thing. But I also remember when you busted your hand.
Oh, yeah.
I remember watching, because I was bragging about you. I was like, oh, I know Mason. Look at this. And I walk over, and you drop him, like, immediately. And then I asked you, because I saw you in this cast, like, the next day or the day after in the gym. And I go, what the fuck? I just watched your highlight. And then you were like, yeah, I broke it.
You crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, when I fought Dwight, I landed this sprinting punch, and I landed it on, like, this knuckle, the one you're not supposed to land on. And the shit snapped right in half, like, right in the first 5 seconds of the fight. And then I fought with it for, like, the whole fight. Like, it went all the way to a decision.
Trey's quote is always hilarious. He's always like, if you've watched Mason Pillow fight, you've seen a Mason Pillow fight. And he's like, this motherfucker, like Mason, mostly for the most part, like almost every fight, he just ran literally as soon as the first bell rings, he just sprints right at you.
Dude, the only time I haven't run was against
this last Sean.
The Sean Taborski fight was just like on the first synergy card, and the only reason I didn't run at this dude is because I was afraid I was gonna hurt my hand again. I was like, I'm gonna break my fucking hand. Like,
I remember watching, because I was bragging about you. I was like, oh, I know Mason. Look at this. And I walk over, and you drop him, like, immediately. And then I asked you, because I saw you in this cast, like, the next day or the day after in the gym. And I go, what the fuck? I just watched your highlight. And then you were like, yeah, I broke it.
You crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, when I fought Dwight, I landed this sprinting punch, and I landed it on, like, this knuckle, the one you're not supposed to land on, and the shit snapped right in half, like right in the first 5 seconds of the fight. And then I fought with it for like the whole fight. Like, it went all the way to a decision.
Trey's quote is always hilarious. He's always like, if you've watched Mason Pillow fight, you've seen a Mason Pillow fight. And he's like, this motherfucker, like Mason, mostly for the most part, like almost every fight, he just ran literally as soon as the first bell rings, he just sprints right at you.
Dude, the only time I haven't run was against
this last Sean.
The Sean Taborski fight was just like on the first synergy card, and the only reason I didn't run at this dude is because I was afraid I was gonna hurt my hand again. I was like, I'm gonna break my fucking hand. Like, and I feel like
that button, fucking A.
I feel like that's the one thing I'm like afraid
now.
about. Like, I'm not afraid, like, when I go in to fight that I'm gonna lose or win or that, like, I'm gonna get knocked out. Like, my fear is that I'm gonna fucking throw a kick wrong or a punch wrong, and
You're gonna fuck yourself up.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck myself up. I'm my own worst enemy, I feel like.
But I mean, it's just like, I mean, no offense to your busted up hand. But I was like, yeah. It was like added to the story. I'm like, and he fucking broke it. And then he kept fucking fighting with it. And then it's just like, now that I know where you're coming from, like the mentality of like, oh, I was here. Now I have a second chance. Like, why not go for fucking everything?
I also don't have feeling in my hands. So when I got arrested, those cops slapped those cuffs on
What are you
me.
on about?
Yeah, I don't really have feeling like on my hands very much. Like if I touch like the stovetop, like yeah, I'm probably gonna feel my fingers burn a little bit, but I might smell it before I feel it.
A little bit?
What are you on about, bro?
What is
So,
this?
I don't like my nerve endings are fucked up in my hands. On the left side, it was because of the cuffs, and on the
Holy shit.
on the right side, I have just damaged my hand so much, like with the construction. And one time I was on a fishing trip, and I was like, I was trying to like stab a fish, and I stabbed my own kayak, and my hand slid up the side of this machete, and I cut my fingers all down to the
Oh my gosh.
like all down to the bone. And I like looked up, and I'm like, I tried to close my hand, and I just watched my tendon disappear into my hand. I just pass out, and we're in the middle of a lake. I pass out, fall into the lake. Like I come to, and I wake up. I get into the
Wake up what? Underwater? Are you Aquaman?
I wake up underwater because I'm like, oh fuck, I'm in the water. So I swim up. My dog was on the kayak. I had 2 kayaks, right? Because I had one for the beer and the dog, and one for me. And
Of course, naturally.
we hadn't even cracked a fucking beer yet. I was sober.
you.
And the fucking kayak that I stabbed just sank. But anyways, like I didn't go to the hospital because like we were out in the middle of fucking nowhere. I didn't go to the hospital till like the next day, and
You just slept with this?
yeah, you know, like we kind of that was the end of the kayaking trip. But we went back to camp, and you know, we did campfire activities, and you know, then we went back the next day.
Okay, don't look at me like I know what campfire activities is. What the fuck do you dance around the campfire?
Just, you know, little s'mores.
Yeah, s'mores and
S'mores. Yeah, you seem like a s'mores
smoking
guy
and
after
drinking and
stab and slicing your tendon completely.
no, yeah, we were just hanging out. It was just like a little retreat, and so, but it was so. By the time we had got back from that, by the time like we got, because like we kind of paddled out for a while, and like, so I had to paddle back, and then I had to cut the kayak off of my other kayak, and then I had to hold my dog because I couldn't paddle, and my buddy tied his kayak to my kayak, and I like held everything while he paddles back. And this dude, he passed away a while ago, but yeah, he's one of my best friends. But he,
I'm sorry, brother.
it sucked. But he was like 100 pounds. I'm the same size then as I am now. So
Okay,
he's like
so giant.
He's trying to paddle us, and it's like me, my dog, a full case of beer, probably multiple cases of beer. Honestly.
A trail of blood from your hand.
Yeah, it was fucked. And then some guy picks us up on his boat because he sees us, and he's like, "Oh shit, you guys are fucked up!" Like, so he drives us
"Look,
all
I
the
can't
way
even do
back.
this."
Yeah, which saved us honestly a lot of time because I think we were paddling for like maybe like an hour or 2 hours, and then
Damn, son.
and then I fucking killed my hand. So that was a problem. So yeah, but by the time we got back, it was already dark, and you know, it's like we're not gonna take the time to break down the tents, you know, that takes so long, and then we won't even get to the emergency room till midnight, and then you know we're gonna fucking sit there till 2, you know, because they're probably busy at midnight. So we're like, yeah, fuck it, we'll just get up and.
Did you say the hospital's probably busy at midnight?
Yeah, I mean,
It's Ohio, man. There's lots
listen,
of people.
we were.
you know.
I was
I
not.
was correct. This dude's an animal.
I was not going to the hospital.
That's just
Like,
Ohio.
It wouldn't have mattered what had happened. Like I was going back
That's
to
just
that
Ohio.
campfire. Like we're. Yeah, it's like the average day. I feel like if
Like,
you
oh
walk
shit,
down.
that's Machine Gun Kelly. What's good? I just sliced my hand open.
I feel like Ohio's like it's like a Florida. It's like you really don't know what's gonna happen in Ohio.
That is true.
I feel like Florida's wild. Ohio's drugs. Like, you walk
Just
down.
a lot of people with a lot of time on their hands. In
Yeah,
Ohio.
bro. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to fucking. There's plenty of stuff to do in Florida. That's why everyone gets wild. In Ohio,
Oh,
there's
gosh.
nothing. It looks like a fucking episode of The Walking Dead in Columbus, Ohio. Like you go to the south side of
Really?
Columbus, Ohio. There's people just walking around, fucking methed out. Like
You were like, "Hey, Grandma." She was like, "What's going
I
on?"
was,
You were
I was like,
"Yeah,
I gotta
how's
get the
Betty?"
fuck out
You're
of
like,
here. So yeah,
She's over here.
yeah, it's not good, man.
I just lump it in with the Midwest. I don't know why. I just
Ohio?
assume Ohio's
It
like.
doesn't feel like the Midwest. And then also, why the fuck is Kansas called the Midwest? Like I feel like if anything, it'd be Mid-East or
What?
Ohio would Mid-East.
What are you talking about? Kansas would be like the mid. I mean,
mid?
it's
Yeah,
the
it's
middle.
gotta be
literally
just
the
mid.
middle of the United States.
But yeah, okay, but how does Missouri count as Midwest? Like if you look at the Tapology rankings,
got a point.
they have I'm like
It's
number
'cause-
X
'cause
in the
we're-
Midwest, and then the states for the Midwest are all on the east, like the northern east side.
I don't think it's Midwest of the United States. I think it's the mid of the West. Like we're the West. We're usually referred to as West, right? Like we're the West. Like in
I
the
see.
world, we're West. So it's
That's
like the
true. He's
mid
got a
of the
point.
West.
I failed history, so
I mean, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to just take you at your word on this one. Like,
I'll let you
Well,
guys.
like the Middle East, right? Like it's not the middle of the East. It's just, or it's like it's not like the middle of the world. It's the middle of the East.
but they call it the Middle East.
Right.
We're calling this the Midwest.
Right.
It's
The
like a
mid-
the
difference.
Western
The
world.
mid
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah.
West.
The mid of the West.
The middle of the Western world.
So
He's
you're
got
trying to tell me now is that Ohio is mids.
Yes.
All right, you guys chill. I have to pee.
All right, bro.
Dude, now that Chase is gone, we can steal all his shit.
Comes back. It's just a white room.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Let's each shoot something off the wall.
Pretty cool shit, huh? You said what? Shoot something?
No, I said let's choose something off
Oh,
the wall.
choose something. Be like, hey, bro, can I take that?
You know what? I like the Wonder Woman.
The cinema post is pretty tight.
I don't think she would find that funny.
You don't think so?
No.
So
She'd be like, you told the world that I killed our dog?
All right, cool. Let me check this one.
Belt's going up half on my asshole.
What's up? How's your notes go?
Back to
Dude,
Back
the
to the
notes,
podcast.
I don't know what his
Awesome.
notes said.
Oh hell no! This was just like a
But you know what I want to talk about?
what?
Politics.
shut the fuck up.
I'm done. We just had to explain the Midwest,
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we should be talking about that.
and then you're like, now let me tell you about politics.
So this is why I'm voting for Trump.
I mean, that would be something you would do. You seem like the guy who not stirs up trouble on purpose.
Oh, I used to be so much worse, bro. I used to be the shit starter. Like I'm pretty bad about it now, but that's just with people that I'm trying to fight. You know, and like I don't necessarily enjoy talking shit to people, but it's like if I don't talk shit to people, they won't fight me or they'll back out of the fight. But if
Right.
I, you know, say, hey, you know, like fuck you and your bitch mother, you know, like then they're like fuck you, and then they're bought in, you know, like
Bro,
now we're
last
gonna
dude-
fight.
This last dude was invested, bro. Drake Manconi, this last guy that Mason beat for the belt, dude, he got so
Ooh.
mad
How
because
bad was it?
I mean, it wasn't even Mason. Like it was Mason's friends.
The
but, like,
night that they announced
they
the
were
fight,
trolling this dude so hard.
this
like, the
dude was
weeks leading up
fighting
to the
with my
fight, bro.
buddy Sam Hartness till like fucking 4 a.m. the night that
The
fight.
dude who's gonna fight you.
When I announced the fight, yeah, he was fighting with Sam on Facebook for like fucking 14
Yeah.
hours straight or some shit.
They were just messaging each other.
I
bro.
literally I saw that and I was like, dude, I don't even really think you know, we might as well schedule another fight like a week after because this dude is not gonna.
And then like I think that's the only fight I've ever seen as an amateur where like the dude like probably didn't like, and like his family and friends really didn't like you. Like after Mason won, I have a video too. I should send it to you so you can put it like.
yes, you should.
Dude, Mason Gomi Mason came as soon as Mason they put the belt on Mason, right? They raised his hand as soon as he ran out of the cage and he went up to his family and dapped us up. Gomi put him on his shoulders and started walking around with Mason. The girl Drake Manconi's girlfriend, the dude he fought, she threw a drink at Mason from the stands,
Holy
pissed
fuck.
off as fuck.
Yeah, and they're still going at it
And they got kicked out.
Now?
They got kicked out
yeah,
of the arena.
and
yeah.
multiple promoters or like Chris and Zach, they were coming up to me, like those are guys who run Synergy, and they're like, hey, you know, like we just had to basically kick out the whole Manconi squad. They said they're waiting for you outside of the
He was
venue.
like, be careful because we just had to kick them all. Security had to kick them all out. They might still be outside, waiting for them to come out.
I was like, let them wait in the cold,
fuck,
bro.
yeah,
I'll
bro.
go fucking 10-0, these fat fucks.
And we were in the same motel as them. Synergy put us.
Yeah,
Go
bro.
find
Our
us.
rooms was literally side to side to each other's.
Like we pulled up to the hotel.
Did
We
you
just
see
see
them at the
Manconi
motel?
just sitting on his
Yeah.
truck. Yeah, he was. Then when we pulled up, he's just sitting on his truck right outside of our door. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Who scheduled this? What is this? This is round two? This is round two. And you're like, come on, brother.
nah, he did.
You're wearing the belt.
He knows the truth, bro. He tried his hardest. You know, he came. All right, shout out to Drake Manconi. You know, he's a good grappler. He
Mhm.
came with a grappling game plan. He had to have, you know, because that's his forte.
Right.
And you know, he tried his best, but you know, I shut that shit down.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
But you did.
I
but
got
you
the
actually choked him.
takedowns. Yeah, and I got the finish. So it's like, he has to know, bro. Like,
there's nothing more that can be said other than like you did it. Like, and there's something else with like words and actions. So like MMA is a place where you could put your actions and your words together and be like, it's final now, you know?
I think that's also why, like, what really attracted me to MMA was like I played baseball and soccer when I was younger, but like the thing about MMA is like you don't have to rely on anybody else but yourself. Like it's only you in there. So like the outcome of your fight is solely dependent on you, right? You don't have to rely on a team. Like maybe your team's doing shitty or this dude's not picking up. Like it's just you in there, and you're the only one who like your actions completely defy this outcome. Like there's nobody else besides like you who's gonna like this is only you and you only like who's gonna make this outcome happen. Whatever happens, like it's on you. You know.
Well, I think that's why I like it too.
Go for it, brother.
Oh, I was gonna say that. My bad. This is your.
Hold on, brother. I'm talking.
What do you got? Go ahead, Mason.
I was gonna say that's like it goes back to life too. It's like honestly in life, like yeah, sure you might be on a team or you might be a part of like an engineering firm or whatever. Like, but at the end of the day, your success in life it's on you, not anybody else. You know,
right?
If you don't pay your fucking bills, you don't have anybody to blame but yourself.
Yeah.
No, for 100%. Well, and that's also something that like when I walked in, you guys also have a mindset of like this is my career, this is my thing, but we're also a fucking team.
Yeah.
Like if I lose, you lose. If you win, I win. And there's nowhere else where you can find that outside of places like that.
It's crazy. Like I get more nervous when like they fight than when I fight. You know what I mean? Like I get pretty nervous when I fight, but like when somebody I know is fighting, especially like Mason or Gomi, like I'm jacked up. You know what I mean? Because I'm watching them like, damn, bro. Like you know what I mean?
Well, and it's the same because Gomi said the same thing about when he fought Peter Lusip. He was like, oh, he beat other guys, and then like I finally did it, like for them too. And I'm like, it's a fucking brotherhood, a team. And something else was like when you're doing whether it's the podcasting thing or the fighting thing, it is individual. Because like if I don't, for example, if I don't edit this together, this is never going anywhere. This is just us having a good time and talking and then imagining we're recording it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it's fun for me, just like going to the gym's fun for you guys and for me. So if you can do something that doesn't feel like work, but it is work, I mean, you're living better than 99%.
That actually, like, I remember talking to David Onama, UFC. I remember we had a conversation one day. It was like right before his last fight where he got like he had a banger of a fight and he got the 50K.
Well, he was also up to 155.
Yeah, that was right after that fight, before his last fight.
Oh, okay, okay.
Or no, after his like knockout of Benitez, and then like right before his last fight.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one.
He was talking like I remember we were like in the locker room and it was like after practice and we were just like having a conversation about something, and he was like telling me, he was like like talking about like everything he has to do, and I was like, man, it's crazy. Like the life we live is like we don't ever really like sit down. It's like it's hard to like sit down and like think about it from like a third person perspective, you know. But it's like like I was talking to David, I was like, bro, you get to go to Las Vegas, you get a full week paid trip to fly out there and do like do your job, you know what I mean? Like you get expenses paid, you get to like fly on a super nice plane, like in like like real nice like first class, like the UFC pays for everything.
Dude.
Going to Vegas, you got your hotel, you got your food picked out already for you. You got the the UFC PI, the Performance Institute. You got chefs, you got like all these people. Like I was like, bro, you made it. I was like, you know what I mean? Like I was just like I was almost geeking out for him. I was like dude, like you're where. I was like, you know what I mean? Like think back to when you were an amateur and you were in my spot. Like you're where I want to be. Like you're where like you dreamed of, a couple of years ago, and now you're there. You know what I mean? Now you're around, like we're around these champions. We're around Brandon Moreno. You know what I mean? Our Glory's a world class gym, so it's like being around all these like high profile fighters. Like there's UFC fighters every single, like we're side by side. We're running from the best. It's like you're there, bro. Like you know what I mean? You're living a better life than 99% of people we come across every single day. You are living your dream. You're fighting for money. You're making good money fighting. You're fighting like
you get to hit people for money.
And it's like, you know what I mean? You're like, and he was like, oh yeah, man. Like I kind of hadn't stopped to think about like I'm where at, like obviously like I'm like every fighter wants to be champion, so we're not like quite where we're at yet. But he was like, yeah, like you're right. Like I hadn't stopped to think about it for a second. Like I'm where I want. It's
so
go
go.
Yeah.
Like it's really tough to be in the moment. Like so like when I explain that I work, and then after I work 8-10 hours, then I come here. and do the extra stuff till like midnight, they're like, "What the fuck's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I'm having fun. What's wrong with you?" You know, like people don't get it, and it goes the same with like, I mean, you guys probably have had fucking friendships and relationships like fall through because they don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, I can't do that today." They're like, "Why? You done with work?" I'm like, "Not really. I have this to do." They're like, "Well, then don't do it." I'm like, "Fuck you. Like, I'd rather do this than go to the Mexican restaurant and then drink margaritas and then forget tonight. Like, I'm going to have this recorded and posted and remembered, you know?" Same thing with what you're talking about, legacy. I'm not looking for legacy when I started this, and I'm not in the future, but there's a mentality that comes from, like, seeing something from start to finish. Yeah. Like, we plan this episode. I get to talk to you guys. We get to post it. People get to see you. They get to see me. They get to see this new perspective. And the hard work of, like, sitting here and making sure it all sounds good and looks good. And it's just, people don't get that way. They're content with doing the 9 to 5. And if you're content with that, sure, have fun. But, like, some people aren't.
I feel like I wonder if I would be doing the 9 to 5 if I had never gotten in trouble, you know, with the law. Like, I feel like that had to happen for me to, like, become this. You know?
There's always that.
I don't know. I think you would have done something. Like, I think fighters are crazy. I think we're all crazy people. Like, I think anybody who fights, like, and steps into the cage is just a little bit crazy. Like, not in, like,
willing to step into.
It's just like the mentality you have in there. Like to be able to, like, a lot of people don't even step into the gym. Like, I'm sure, like all of us have had it where throughout the last, you know, few years I've been fighting, like, I've had so many friends tell me, acquaintances, family members tell me, "Man, you're fighting. That's so cool. I'd really like to get into that. You know, like, I want to start fighting. I want to start training, whatever." And maybe 2 people have actually ever come to the gym and tried a class out. You know what I mean? Like,
shout out Juan.
Yeah, Juan, our buddy Juan. Like, Juan was not one of those people either. Like, I'm gonna like shout Juan out real quick.
I love Juan.
He was like, he came to the gym without even telling me. He didn't tell me he was gonna sign up. He wasn't like, "Hey, bro, like, I want to sign up. Let me come to class with you." He literally, I was just showed up and he was there one day, already signed up, and I was like, "Oh shit, what's up, bro?"
You go, "What are you doing here?" You go, "Like, I've been here."
And it's just like, if you like, some people don't realize it's like just doing it, like just stepping into the gym or just doing it is like such a big part of, like, even this, you know what I mean? Like, like just like doing this podcast and releasing it, like, you're doing more than everybody, like, you know what I mean? Like, people dream about having a big podcast, right? People dream about being famous or this or that, and they never do anything about it. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
If you just, like, start uploading videos of, like, you know, like a daily vlog or whatever, like, yeah, like, maybe not a few people are going to watch it at first, but that's how it starts. You know what I mean? Like, you got to
no one gives a shit
somewhere.
about you.
You just have to start. You know, that's where people, like, a lot of people don't even ever start. And it's like, your dreams are gone before you even, like, had an inkling of, like, you could even get there, you know what I mean? Because you never even start.
Did you know that when you fought, you were like, no one's going to give a fuck. Like, but you didn't care. You know what I mean? You got to have a mentality of like that.
I don't think that nobody gave a fuck. I just think it's like, I think you have to believe in yourself so much that it's delusional to other people. Like,
exactly.
You have to believe yourself so much that other people think you're crazy. Like, my mom's never been to one of my fights. Like, and I don't know if she ever will, to be honest with you. It's not that she doesn't believe in me, but she just, like, wants me to do something else, right? Like, it's like, and I don't care, you know what I mean? Like, I like, and then obviously my mom, like, doesn't want to see me get hurt and this and that and the other, but,
my
like,
baby.
Yeah, and also, like,
the same for you.
I don't care who, but you know what I mean? Like, I believe in myself and I know what I can do, and I don't really give a fuck if, like, obviously it's nice to have other people believe in you, but I'm doing this for me, you know what I mean? Not for other people. Like,
right.
I feel like my family, I don't know, none of them. Like, when I first started, it was all like, why are you like spending so much time doing this? You know, like,
because I love it.
Yeah, that's why I get that all the time too from my mom. Still, like, it's like, why are you spending something, like, why don't you go to school? Why don't you, like, do something? I'm like, Mom, I don't, like, you don't understand. Like, this is like, I just don't think she, like, I mean, she also comes from a different culture, but, like, I don't think I don't think she's ever seen, like, the hard work that I put in, like, or like.
Well, it's hard for someone to really imagine what we're doing in that Overland Park room, because honestly, dude, like, that Overland Park room, the workouts that we're doing and, like, the shit we're doing in that room is insane. Like, I've been a part of a whole bunch of different teams, and, you know, like, we get down at Overland Park harder than anyone in the state. I guarantee it. Like,
oh, for sure.
Except for
I mean, it proves in the numbers, bro. Like, you just said in your division, there's top 10, there's 7 of you in there. right? At 185 or 170.
Yeah.
70,
I mean,
but in every weight class, we've got dudes like right at the top at every weight class. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kept seeing the environment, but also like Glory is like an acumen of people who like somehow all came together. You know, like being run by Kraus, who's like an MMA genius, like Trey, who like came up under Kraus, and Trey's now our coach. And Trey's like that, like we were saying, like Trey is so particular about everything, and he's such like a good like teacher. I think like Trey's not just a teacher; he's a leader. You know what I mean? Trey comes in like Trey leads from in front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Trey's not behind, like telling people to do. You see Trey there working every day too. You know what I mean? Not sometimes you'll see a coach who's on the sideline and he's coaching you hard as shit, and you're like, man, like this dude isn't doing these suicides, like this fucking sucks, right? But Trey's there every single, like Trey's working almost harder than probably anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, so seeing our coach,
and he's fucking you up.
Yeah.
He's in there fucking humbling you.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite is I walked in.
Yeah, I want to follow that guy. You know what I mean? Because
That's what Gobi said.
Trey's gonna follow no matter what. If I follow Trey, he's gonna steer me right. Like I know Trey, I trust Trey, and he's not gonna steer me wrong. You know what I mean?
No, he wouldn't. Well, it's kind of like I don't know. It must have been jiu-jitsu when they mentioned it, but it was like when you get to like purple belt, there's a point you get where like when you start teaching it, like you start to develop your own way of doing things and craft, but then you also get to see it from the perspective of you not being there, like you're watching what's going on. So you're taking that knowledge and putting it to practical use, and you can go, oh, I see where I could probably improve there that way. It's a different avenue. So not only is he improving himself by teaching us in the proper direction, but like he's also putting you through the ringer because he's always on the mat.
Yeah.
There's never a point where I walk in and I'm like, where's Trey at? It's like, oh, there he is. It's like rolling with someone. I'm like, oh, that dude's in trouble. Like I'm just like watching. He's not just some of these idle like. I mean, he's a good coach, I guess. Trevor Whitman, do you know who that is? The guy who teaches Gagey, and like he's got Rose Namajunas and a bunch of these good UFC people under his belt. But I'm like, do you fight? Like it's just like he's the guy who holds the pads.
Well, I don't know, man. Because what would you say about John Danaher? I don't think I've seen John Danaher do any jiu-jitsu tournaments lately.
He competed when he was younger, I'm sure. But
that's true. Well, he's just such a he just loves it to the point where it's like his life. I'm pretty sure his suit is
Well, he
rash guard.
can't. I'm pretty sure he can't actually compete. Like he has like a medical condition or something where it's preventing him from actually rolling, and so that's why he's like so into coaching. He spends so much time like
Gordon.
Or just like on his craft, or like making up the Danaher system, whatever that is. You know.
I guess like what I was trying to say is like we're not like blindly following Trey, like because like. He's just like somebody we look up to. Like we follow Trey because he's right there with us. Like he's a student of the game still. You know what I mean? Still, like Trey is like our leader, and I feel like I feel like comfortable following with Trey's lead because I feel like I'm not like blindly following. I feel like I'm like smartly Trey's like so knowledgeable in what he's saying and how he says it. I think is like. A big part, like how we're taught things. Like everybody's taught the same thing for the most part, right? Like everybody's taught a double leg. Everybody's taught a single leg.
Do you think we're getting the same knowledge at Overland Park that they're getting over and somewhere else?
I think we have a better curriculum for sure, but I think it's the curriculum. Like the things we're learning aren't necessarily like you know what I mean. Like everybody knows a 1-1-2, you know, a jab cross hook. I think it's. In the way and like how we're chaining stuff together, it's the system in which how we're learning it. Like, you know, our system is we're not like Glory's known kind of for the wall work system and the grappling system we got now. You know what I mean? It's just like the way we learn it is, and the steps following and like how to chain stuff together is, I think what's putting us ahead.
Well, and
also the people teaching us.
Yeah, I would say it's like because you had Joe Rogan and people talking about how they may be a black belt. But they got their black belt a long fucking time ago. So the black belts that are coming up now have a different method because they have the building blocks they had as a black belt. Then they have the other, like, new age people, like, you know, the guy who teaches, what was his name?
John Danaher.
Yeah. It's like he studies it like a physicist studies, like, the universe.
I think that's a better way to put it. It's like you might be a black belt and you might be a black belt, but who'd you get your black belt from? You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
like that matters a lot.
And why did you get your black belt?
Yeah.
Did you get your black belt because you've been here for 15 fucking years? Or
Right.
did you get your black belt because you just went and fucking tapped someone?
Yeah,
You know?
it's like, got it. And they're like, great, here's a belt. You're like, those guys, there's a discrepancy between his time period and this time period now. But, like, I can't pinpoint something that Trey did for me specifically. But, like, Gomi had a point where he was like, even if he didn't believe he could do it, Trey's like, well, I'm headstrong at doing it, so I'm going to take you with me. And that alone is enough to make you go, okay, well, if he's crazy enough to do it, I'm crazy enough to follow him. We'll fucking win together, regardless.
It's like if you don't believe enough in yourself, he'll be like, I believe enough in you for the both of us. So like,
for
you know,
sure.
it's like,
Well, I mean, when you guys showed up, so you said you showed up and you got just, I got a pretty good background, but you were obviously not in shape, right?
Yeah,
Smoking cigarettes, whatever off the
Dude, I've basically spent my life doing nothing for like 4 years straight, just not knowing what to fucking do. And like, I just kind of like, I was finally just like, I'm just going to do something, you know?
Well, and it's, I say that not to like insult you in your shape, because you're obviously in shape now and you're doing fucking great.
nah.
But there's
as fuck.
something that's a hard, like, you have to fight through some of this shit. Like, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and go like, okay, I'm bad at this. I need to improve this. And
Yeah.
like, it forces you to look at yourself in a way that people aren't comfortable doing. And like I said, I couldn't be like more grateful to have you guys and have people that I get to talk to like this. 'Cause people out there don't know that they exist, and two, that they can, you know, not look at themselves that way in a negative way. But like, everyone's got fucking flaws, dude. Like, everyone's got things that are fucked up that I need to fix. But if you have a support group kind of thing, brotherhood, you're willing to work that with them. Like Trey, if I go, hey, I'm not doing this right, he's like, oh, well, let me fucking help you.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, I couldn't be more grateful for you guys.
I don't know if there's anything else in the world that has the same effect that like jiu-jitsu has, or wrestling, or any combat, like a real like world combat scenario where like jiu-jitsu or wrestling, or somewhere where you have like a real sparring where you can like, you really find out like, oh shit, I'm not shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you like there's so many times like where a big guy will come into the room and think he's like hot shit, and you know, real quick he finds out he's not. You know what I mean? And his whole world crashes in like those like 15 minutes. He's like, oh shit, I'm not who I thought I was. You know, like.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, that's also, I would face that all the time.
And I face that. I feel like every guy probably faces that. You know what
Everyone gets tired. I'll tell you right now. You motherfucker's poker facing it, all right? He's just
Not
as
even-
tired as you are.
Not even like getting tired. Like I feel like literally every guy, maybe just like every single guy before they get into their first fight, every guy feels like they could knock any other guy out with the right hand. Right?
Yes.
Like coming up
Yes.
as a 15-year-old, like a 120-pound kid, I was like, I get in a fight, I'm fucking winning. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
because I thought I'm gonna swing at this dude and I'm gonna win because I'm me. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like
That's
every
a
guy
really
has this thought
yeah.
where it's like, I'm gonna win because I'm fucking me, bro. You know what I mean? Like I see red, bro.
I know
like,
who I am.
shit like that. Yeah. And then
I don't
like,
think everybody thinks like that, bro.
You don't think
I
so?
think you think like that because I think
you didn't think like that?
something
Dude, I
happened
thought
in my
like that.
mentality that switched me from like not as confident to now I'm just like I'm overly confident. I know if I just try hard I can fucking accomplish anything. But like before, like when I was in high school, man, like yeah, I could wrestle, but like I was never like I was backing away from fights because I was like, you know, I don't know that I can fight. Like if I don't want to get fucked up.
I feel like that's why a lot of guys do fight. Like I feel like we don't ever fight like people on the street because we're fighters, but I feel like people who don't fight because they don't know who they are, and like they're insecure. Where it's like, oh, like I fucking got this guy. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna fight this fight because I don't like. I think I can fucking get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, well, and I completely agree with like both sides of this. And for me, that's exactly how it was. It was like, so let's go back to the body shot. So I took a body shot from you for the first time, felt it, and I go, oh, I don't think people feel this, what this feels like. So if they throw a right, I think it was like 80% is like they throw a right hand. And you're like, great, well, if I just match my right hand to yours, boom, hit you in the body, you're probably going to give up because you've never been hit in the body. If anything, you've probably been hit in the face. And even then, probably not. You probably like were leaning back or something. And I remember thinking that. And I was going with it was some guy who did the same thing. Oh, I totally want to fight too, right? And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think you do, man. And then he's like, show me some shit. What do you got like that? And I'm just like, it's been like a year at Glory with Trey, and I'm like just playing with my food. Yeah. And then he just like leans way back to throw as much as he can, and I go, I'm gonna hit him right in the body, like hard, and just like lean down, boom, and just hit him straight. He goes, like immediately, and goes, all right. But before that, I hadn't done shit. I was just like putting hands up, like hunching down, and he's like, yeah, I'm getting you. And I'm like, it just takes that one.
Yeah. People
don't know what it's like. And I think that, and then they don't do it ever again, and that scares them. But not us fuckers.
You just got to keep showing up. Like, you literally just got to keep showing up.
I mean, that's what I tell everyone else. Like, just be consistent. You'll get better at doing jiu-jitsu and doing this. It'll just show up. But anyway, my cameras are almost dead, you guys.
All right. Fuck,
Sick,
marry,
brother.
kill.
Hey.
Angelina Jolie.
Got it.
Scarlett Johansson and Megan Fox.
Wait, fuck, marry, kill?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think you're going to like my answers, dude. Like, yeah.
What was ours? I forgot.
I feel like I'm marrying Angelina
I think
Jolie.
I think we all married Angelina Jolie. I don't think Omi did. I think
what?
I'm marrying Angelina Jolie for sure.
No, oh, no way.
I think the consensus was she's got a lot of kids. You know, she's probably got a good mom.
Yeah, I mean that's.
She seems the most stable.
And I don't
want
to marry Megan Fox.
No. Is she on your kill list?
Who was it? ScarJo?
I'm killing Scarlett.
What is wrong with you people?
It's Megan Fox.
No, I would. Scarlett Jo she's my baby. I'd marry her. I'd marry her. Yeah.
Damn.
I'd marry her. I would fuck Jolie, and then I'd kill Megan Fox.
That's crazy.
Oh, that's crazy. We're playing this game of fuck, marry, kill, and that's crazy. My answer's crazy.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Bro, you're crazy.
Before the cameras die, we'll shout out real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the Fight House, me, Gomi, and Mason, we've been trying to like come up with content like you're doing. So I think we're gonna start doing some blogs for like our fight camps.
Yeah, I got.
We all
so
have
cameras.
fights. We all have a fight lined up. I think Gomi fights next. He's December 7th or 9th.
9th.
December 9th.
FAC.
Gomi fights at FAC.
I got tickets. So you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna we'll be there.
I got
so
VIP.
yeah, if you get tickets for that. I think I fight next January 21st.
Do you guys want to? I'm gonna get media passes. Are you guys like? Are you doing it for the fight? Do you corner him?
No. I'm just
No?
going there as a.
Because if I may have tickets for cage side, but I think you get to sit by the cage.
Oh yeah, like where the media, like the photographers and that.
By
sit?
the photography.
Sick.
And I don't know if you can count, but I'm just counting 1, 2, 3 cameras, and I'm counting 1, 2, 3 people.
Let's go.
So if you guys need any content creation, whatever, we have a studio.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be doing a lot of that. We'll be trying to figure it out. But we've been filming a lot of content. We've got a lot of video clips.
You showed me one. It was fucking great.
Yeah,
it was fucking good.
Yeah, the highlight reel you put together on fucking TikTok.
Oh yeah, we're
for before the fight.
Some reels, some like I feel like promoters, you got to promote yourself around here. You know what I mean? Like they do a good job, but like you can't complain when someone's not doing something for you. Like you just gotta go out and do it yourself. You know what I mean? So we're gonna start promoting ourselves as much as possible.
You know what? We got a little bit of time left before the movie. I think we can make a plan. I really think we can make a plan, and you guys could leave here and be like, "Oh fuck, we're gonna actually do it."
Like start and film our stuff.
Yeah, I can help you guys out.
Yeah, man, we'd be down for sure. I mean, like, got a rough idea. I'm like, I've got some rough editing skills. You know what I mean? I'm just like doing on iMovie and stuff, but yeah, you'd be probably a big help.
Oh, we're gonna have some fun for like the next 30 minutes.
But yeah, look out for that. It'll be on our social media, I'm sure. I'm at _George Luna on Instagram, JORGLUNA.
Mm-hmm.
Mason.
Yeah, plug your shit, Mason. You animal,
I don't
you
even
beast.
fucking know what it is.
I think you're at.
Look up Mason Pillow. I mean, there's
the
Mason's
first one's
at
you
Moss,
running a
Moss _Pillow, I think.
Moss _Pillow. Yeah, that is. That's it.
All right, gentlemen. Well, let's get these things shut down, uploaded, and
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I got a
Actually,
surprise.
I got some for you real quick.
Oh, you're gonna give me a belt? You're so sweet. No, it's my legacy. Oh yeah. Oh fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Who did this?
I did actually. It was one of my friends.
No shit.
He's got like a t-shirt company. So shout out Tanner.
Tanner Loveland?
Yep.
Yes.
Tanner
Dude,
Loveland.
I love Tanner.
Yeah. So yeah, man, got you a shirt. Hopefully we'll see you at the next fight. Oh yeah, I fight January 21st on Synergy.
Yeah, and then you February.
I fight on February 4th
Hell yeah.
And downtown at the Memorial Hall, we got a bunch of people fighting that night. It's gonna be a good night of fights.
Yeah. So hit us up for tickets. I'm sure we'll put the links up on our social medias, but those will be good fights.
I got a bunch of cage, side, and table tickets that I'm selling individually. So if you ever wanted to sit close, hit me up.
That's me.
Pillow.
Save me one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
fuck
buddy.
it. Go to Nitro Tickets.
Yeah. NitroTickets.com, and I think it's Ticketmaster for FAC. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is Ticketmaster for FAC. But you should just go to the gym, buy them from Trey.
Got it. And he'll have to he taps you out first.
Yeah.
Tap?
Yeah, no, he'll put you in a choke, and then when you tap, he
yeah.
goes, just take it. All right, guys.
Well, thanks, brother. Thanks for having us.